Hello and welcome back to Adventure Worthy. My name's Lumin and in this episode we're having a look at the Long Dark.
First, there was a brilliant light. Then, a great and silent darkness. People ran scared. Those that could took shelter. Many suffered beyond reason. Now, most are gone. Their countless stories left untold. Who will bear witness to this long dark?
The Long Dark is a first-person post-disaster survival simulator that's been developed by Hinterland Games and is currently in early access alpha. The game is set in the northern wilderness in the aftermath of a global geomagnetic disaster, and you, as the player, need to brave the elements and other survivors, hunt for supplies, explore the world, uncover the mystery, and ultimately answer the question, how far will you go to survive? Currently only sandbox mode is available for play, in which you're tasked with surviving as long as you possibly can in the harsh northern wilderness. Upon release, however, there will be a full episodic story mode to head into as well. Posters of chopped wood, of lumber on their walls. These guys are dedicated. Gotta make the best of your first day, because, you know, there's a really good chance that you won't survive your first night. Look, I'll be honest and tell you guys that I died of, I guess you could say, malnutrition, of hunger, because I accidentally tried to get in a good 8 hours worth of sleep. Without first feeding my character. Oh, it was terrible. It was a bad experience. It really was. I don't want to do that again. That was my first night. You know, finding a dead body is just, it's a good thing. Like, for instance, this watchtower. Oh, what? Did I seriously just sprain my ankle trying to climb up this hill? Woman, how clumsy are you? Come on, just a couple more steps. Don't sprain the other ankle now. I can't see anything. This is kind of scary. I don't know where I'm going. Oh, it's a buck. Whew, man. You know what I need to do is I need to use the hatchet. And then I need to carve a hole. No! Don't do that to me. Carve a hole in that deer's belly and then I need to climb in there. I think you know where I learned to do that. Ah! Pants. That's like the last thing that I wanted. Oh! No, the wolves. The wolves. Quickly back. Do this. For an hour? I'm gonna die foraging wood. Come on, please. Please, please. Don't die. Woman? How did I not see that? I'm gonna get eaten before I get to the house. This is it. Come on. Wolf. Wolf. You've got to be kidding. You have got to be kidding. You will not eat me now. Not just before I reach that house. This is like the scene of the crime right here. So after playing the Long Dark for around 6 to 8 hours, I guess, and this is over a couple of days, a couple of different games that I restarted over and over again, some of them much shorter than others, some of them only 10 minutes long. You know, I actually jumped into a game just 3 days ago and started playing. I rounded the corner, there was a wolf there, it ate my face off, and that was that. I was finished. I didn't even know how that happened. I was so shocked. But after playing that long, I gotta say that this game is just a lot of fun. And it's so brutal. It's one of the most difficult survival simulation type games that I've ever played. It is madness. You know, they don't hold your hand in any way. There's so much that you need to think about when you're playing. Even just walking across a little snowy clearing could be a huge detriment to your health. You gotta calculate everything. You gotta make sure that your condition stays good enough for you to, like, survive a little nap. It's harsh. It's super harsh. The way that they set up the condition system, I think, is really cool. I haven't seen that kind of thing done a lot with the cold, thirst, hunger, and fatigue. And then on top of that, there's more. So, for instance, with hunger, you can't just eat any old food because you could potentially eat some diseased meat. If it's off, then you'll pick up some other sickness. If you drink water that's not been properly prepared or boiled or something, you could get dysentery. It's crazy. Then for the cold, you need to make sure that your clothing is in good enough condition to actually, you know, keep you warm. I don't know how they thought of all of this. I don't know how they managed to make it work so well, but it does work. And it is a lot of fun trying to manage it. Sure, some of them may need a little bit of tweaking and balancing here and there. Like, for instance, the calories. I feel like your calories drop way too quickly. Like an hour or two after you eat a kilogram of venison, your character's just hungry again. It's weird. Also, when you sleep, then it all drains really quickly. Your thirst, your calories, and all the rest. But overall, I gotta say, in terms of gameplay, that stuff is really fun. I mean, the rest of it, the way the game controls, the way you can move around and stuff, nothing to say about that. It works. It's good. I like the minimal UI. I like that every now and then they just remind you about your calorie count, about your cold levels, about everything else. That's good. That's well done. It really is. The game's not easy, though. I mean, I've said that already, and I'll just say it again. You're not just gonna run out there, pick up a stick, and then beat down a wolf. It doesn't work like that. I mean, I wish it kind of worked like that. A little part of me wants to do that, but I get what they went for with the gameplay, and I appreciate that they did it because there aren't many games like that out there where you are actually kind of helpless at the start. You can't just immediately go out and start beating down on things, start hunting things with your bare hands. It doesn't work like that. No, it doesn't. But now onto the setting and the visuals of the game. I'm putting these two together because they are very much linked up in this game, and the setting that they chose, the Canadian wilderness, it synergizes nicely with the visual style of the engine of the game. They chose a sort of cel-shaded look. I really like it. Think Walking Dead, think Wolf Among Us, that kind of thing. But obviously a little different. They got their own spin on it. And that just looks so beautiful in the Canadian wilderness. One wouldn't expect a whole lot of snow to look that good, but when you add all the different types of lighting that they added to it, and when you make the scenery as far-reaching as it is, I mean, you can see a long way into the distance, and you make that look as good as it does, it works. It really works. And some of my highlights in terms of visuals were the night skies, and the campfires, and stuff like that. The lighting indoors is also really, really, really cool. When you go into a little wood cabin at night and you see the moon shining in through the window, that's so nice. It looks really good. I mean, you can just look at the footage for yourself and see. You can let me know if you agree with me, but I honestly like the engine. I like the look of it. It works better, I think, than a more realistic look would have worked for this game. Maybe it's just me that thinks that. I mean, I know there are people out there that really like realistic looking games, but I'm not one of them. I think the stylistic approach that they went for worked much better, and I'm glad that they did go for it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the sound, and the one thing I want to say about the sound is that they've got Femshep on board. They've got Jennifer Hale on board. She has the female voice, and it is the best thing. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I only really got into this game when I saw Jennifer Hale tweeting about it, saying that she did a voice for it. That's when I was on board. I was all in at that point. I immediately contacted Hinterland Games and I told them, you know, I want to play this game. Jennifer Hale's in it. I need to play this game. So I got a key and here I am. And that's probably the most important thing about the sound out of the way. You don't need to hear anymore, but I will tell you a little bit more. It's kind of scary walking around in the middle of the night with your vision being severely impaired by a snowstorm and then hearing this wind howl by your ears, not knowing what's coming up, not knowing what's going to happen. That's scary. And that atmosphere is obviously just intensified by the fact that the sound is done as well as it is. You hear like wolves howling, owls hooting, sounds of nature. There's no music or anything as far as I could have heard. I don't know, maybe there is music and I just didn't hear it in the bit that I played, or maybe it just starts up at certain times, but I don't think the game really needs it. Maybe during the story mode of the game they'd needed to set the mood in certain situations. I guess that would be important, but as of right now in sandbox mode, it's not. You don't need the music there, so I didn't even really realize if it was there or not. Regardless, that's gonna be what I use to transition into talking about the story. There is none. There's no story just yet, but obviously there are big plans for the future of the game. Currently, all you get told is that there was a huge disaster, you survived, this helicopter crash happened, and you're out in the wilderness, you gotta stay alive. That's all you need to know. I'm sure they've already got big plans for the story, and when they do implement it, I think it could be interesting, with this big geomagnetic disaster that happened, and Femship as the leading lady. That would be really cool. I haven't even listened to the male voice yet. I just didn't see a reason to. Unless it's Mark Meir, who is the male shepherd, I don't see why I would. I just don't. Anyway, I'm talking about Femship again. I can't help myself. So, there's no story yet, but as far as I have seen and have been told, there's going to be an episodic story coming up. So they'll release the episodes much like they do with The Wolf Among Us or The Walking Dead. And I think that would suit the game really well. It would be great if they, with every single story release, maybe release a new map or a new section for the map in sandbox mode. I'd like that. I think that would work. Now, likes and dislikes. I'm going to give you one like and one dislike. My biggest like and biggest dislike. Biggest like, I think you all know, it's going to be Femship. The fact that Jennifer Hale's voice acting in the game, that along with the visuals, I think the visuals are stunning and the setting and stuff like that. I guess I could add to that the difficulty of the game as well, but that's like way more than just one like. Whatever. Dislike, wolves. I dislike the wolves a whole lot. Okay, they no fun. I mean, they are an integral part of the game to slaughter newbies who start playing, but they are no fun. So is The Long Dark worthy of a grand adventure? While right now I wouldn't say it's something everyone would enjoy, I personally say absolutely. In its current state in early access, it is already quite a lot of fun, and I imagine that once we're able to get into a story in this world, meet other characters, and have a little bit more direction in our gameplay, then things will just get even better, and I think the game will definitely start appealing to more people at that point. Again though, I will heartily recommend this to anyone that wants a proper survival simulator experience, or anyone that just wants to get their face eaten off by a wolf for whatever reason. The devs really have done something special and kind of cruel with this game. The Long Dark is on Steam Early Access, as I mentioned, for $19.99. There's a link to the Steam page and official site below if you're interested. Just keep in mind if you do go out and buy this game that it is in Alpha Early Access, so the chances are there will be bugs, there will be some issues that still need to be ironed out. I guess on the plus side, if you do get in early, then you get to help shape and mold this game into something that you want it to be by giving them suggestions and helping out with the development. If you've been playing the game, then you can also feel free to let me know what you think of it. That is, however, going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching, give it a like, share it, and check back here soon for more. Happy that.